In 2022, I did an episode of the POD Insights podcast talking about how to get started using social media to promote your print-on-demand business. But recently, because of some questions I've received in comments on my videos, I realized I never made a video about this. So in this video, we're going to take a look at getting started using social media to promote your print-on-demand business. All right, so to keep the length of this video reasonable, we're going to first focus on two of the four major social media platforms. So we'll spend most of our time in this video getting started on Pinterest and on Instagram. But you absolutely can, and I think should, also take advantage of Facebook and Twitter or X to promote your print-on-demand business as well. However, in my opinion, there are different purposes for each of these platforms. Now, specifically, I think of social media as having two sort of categories, and it's based on the way that people tend to interact with the platforms, or think of it like the reason why people go to these platforms. So the two categories that I like to think of for social media and business promotion is interaction and visuals. So the two platforms that I think are mostly about the visuals are Pinterest and Instagram. Now, they are very different from each other, but those two platforms I think of as places to promote the visuals of my business. So post a lot of pictures of new designs, product mock-ups, things like that. Twitter or X is the complete opposite. It is much less about visuals and much more about interaction. So that would be the type of platform where your goal is to build interaction with your followers. So you can still share things like new designs that have come out, but you also want to make sure you share, when you're running a sale or a promotion, and also just post things that are intended to get some reaction. Ask questions of your followers and things like that. Where, on Pinterest, you're not going to post something that's just a question and you're hoping to start a whole discussion. That's just not what Pinterest is for. Facebook is kind of an interesting combination because there's a little bit of both going on Facebook. So that's just the general way that I think about the social media platforms in relation to your business. That is just my personal opinion about the way to go about using the platforms. I like to try to think of it in terms of what do people generally want or look for, and then try to shape my posts based on that. So to start things off, we're going to talk about the two platforms that are mostly about the visuals, and that would be Instagram and Pinterest. So we'll get our accounts set up, and then we'll talk about some basic ideas or strategies for creating social media posts for those two. And of course, as we always do, we'll kind of be focusing on the Etsy print-on-demand shop, but these strategies that I'm talking about would apply to, whether you sell on Redbubble or Amazon or on your own site. The way that you go about starting some of the process might just look a little different because there is some integration with Etsy. And if you can't tell by now, we've been sitting on Canva for quite a while, the whole time I've been talking, because Canva to me is an indispensable tool for selling print on demand, because it's not just about creating social media posts. You can use Canva for so many different things for your business. Then I would encourage you to check it out because they have a totally free account where you can take advantage of a lot of their templates, and you can even post straight to your social media accounts from Canva. But first, let's just talk about a couple of things with setting up your Instagram and Pinterest accounts. I'm not going to go through necessarily every single step of setting up a social media account, but I do want to point out, I recommend, of course, signing up for an account with the email address that you intend to use for your business or that you already use for your business. And then you can create, your username and all of that any way that you want. But for both Instagram and Pinterest, you actually need to create your account, your login information first, and then you sort of convert your account to a business account. And that's what we want to do. So on Instagram, if you're on desktop, you would go to your profile, and then you would go to edit profile. And then in the bottom of the menu here on the page, you'll see a link that says switch to professional account. So we're going to click on that. And on Instagram, they give you a choice here between creator and business. Now for us, for print on demand sellers, we're going to fall into the business category where it says retailers, local businesses, brands, and that really fits. We are a print-on-demand product retailer online, so that really fits us more than creator. All right, so we'll click next there, and then basically you just need to click next through a couple of these screens. We need to select a category for our business. You can also check the box here to show the category on your profile page. I don't necessarily feel strongly one way or the other. I don't think there's any harm in showing that, but basically just do what you want. It will take you to a contact information screen here where you do have to enter your business contact information. However, you don't have to check the box to show this contact information in your profile. Now, I was able to advance past that just by putting in my business email address and not my other information. So it didn't require me to put anything in there other than my business email. All right, so now we can go ahead and click done, and we will be all set with a professional business account. Of course, in your profile on Instagram, you want to throw something in here as your bio that describes, your brand. If you have sort of a tagline for your brand, then that's where you'd want to throw that right in the bio. Now, one thing that's notably missing from the desktop version of Instagram is the ability to add or update the link that's in your bio, because all business accounts get to add a link in your bio to direct your customers to your business website. It actually notes right here on the edit profile page that it is grayed out and you can only do it in the mobile app. So if you've been doing this initial setup on a desktop browser, then you're going to want to switch over to a mobile device so you can get your link into your bio. Now, there are lots of options for the link in bio on Instagram. You can use a service like Linktree. Linktree is definitely not the only one. There's lots of Linktree alternatives out there, but the idea is sort of a landing page where you can put multiple links. So when they click the link that's in your bio, it takes you to a landing page where if you have multiple places where you can shop for your products, you can link to all of them. If you only have one sales channel though, like you only sell on Etsy, in that case, then we want to go ahead and get the right link to put in our link in bio. And on Etsy, we now have the ability to use what they are calling a share and save link. So on Etsy, you would want to go to your marketing tab, and then under share and save, there's now a page where you can go and get a link to your Etsy shop that will be tracked by Etsy, and you will actually get a partial refund of the seller fees if somebody makes a purchase using one of those links. Now, I just did a whole video about this topic explaining how it works and what links are tracked and qualify for the program. I will link to that in the corner and in the description if you want to check that out. But if you're opted into this program, then I would definitely recommend using your share and save link as your link in bio on your Instagram and your other social media accounts to make sure that you are maximizing the potential for getting seller fee refunds. Now, when it comes to Pinterest, it's pretty much the same idea. Their interface, of course, is different, but you want to sign up for an account using the email that you intend to use for your business. And then once you get through that initial opening of your account, you're going to go to the top right corner where there is a drop-down arrow. And then you are going to look for the convert to business here. So you're going to click on convert to business. And then again, it's going to take you through a couple of steps here where it's going to change your account from a personal account to a business account. So all we have to do right now is click on upgrade, and it will take us through the account conversion. Now we can give our profile a name, and we can upload an image of our logo. So I'm going to upload the same image I had over on Instagram, and it does help to make your social media accounts consistent. So I would recommend using the same, shop logo image for all of your social media account as profile images. And I would also recommend trying to make your usernames as similar as possible. Now, on some platforms, maybe, the exact username for your shop might already be taken or something, but as close as you can, I'd recommend having your usernames match across platforms so it's not confusing for people to find you no matter where they're going. Now on Pinterest, we also have to describe our business a little bit. I'm going to say fashion because I mostly sell apparel in my print-on-demand shop. So just pick the closest thing for you as far as the type of products that you sell. And then for goals, it just says you can pick up to 3. So I'm going to say sell more products, get more leads, and grow brand awareness. But you can pick any 3 really. Now primary business type, we're going to select online merchant. What do you use to sell your products? For me, I'm going to pick Etsy here, and that's it because that's the only thing that I use to sell my print-on-demand products. But you can select multiple here. So if you also have a Shopify store, you can select that. You can also select something else if it's not one of the ones you see here. Then there's a question here about whether you'd be interested in running ads on Pinterest. This really is up to you. We're not talking about running paid ads in this video on social media. I would probably just recommend saying I'm not sure yet if you haven't thought about it at all. Now, once you get to that point, it's going to kind of lead you through this workflow where it wants you to create a pin, create an ad, or build your profile. So for now, I want to select build your profile because I'm not ready to create a pin or I'm not doing an ad. So I'm just going to go to the profile here. And now I can go ahead and add the same description here in the about. And then I can also add my website link here. So I can do the same thing for my Etsy shop. I can go grab that share and save link from this page. I'll copy it right here, and then I'll come back to Pinterest and I will drop that link right in here. And I will grab the description for my bio that I used on Instagram, and I'll put that in my about. And then anything else that you want to update, you can, and I'll click on save. All right, now I want to talk about Etsy integrations, and then we'll get into a couple of examples of things that I like to use both Pinterest and Instagram for. Etsy does have some integrations that make it possible for you to create a post right from your Etsy account and just push it right to your social media account. Instagram is kind of the oddball out here, but we're going to first go to our marketing tab and we're going to go to social media. On the social media page, Etsy gives you the options for sharing your newest listing, so basically sharing an individual product to your social media accounts, as well as creating a sale or promotion or just promoting an existing coupon code that you have. But that's getting ahead a little bit because I have not integrated Etsy with my social media account. So first, in the top right corner, right next to the Create Post button, there is a Social Accounts button. And so I'm going to click on that. Now, Etsy allows you to connect your Etsy account to Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. And notice there's a note here for Instagram that says you do not have to connect your Etsy account to share, but make sure you're using the Sell on Etsy app on your phone to complete sharing. So basically, you don't need to do an integration with Instagram, but they want you to use the mobile app. On the listings page of your shop, you can also just go ahead and click on this little settings gear in the bottom right corner of each listing, and then click on share, and then you can go straight to sharing this using this method as well. So if we click on Pinterest, that's going to pop open a little window here. We're going to create a new board because we don't have any Pinterest boards. I'm going to call this board T-shirt designs, and we're going to do create. And now it's going to tell me I saved this product to that new board I just created. So now if I come back to Pinterest and I refresh this page, bottom left corner, it actually just created a new board and posted this new pin. So if I open this, now I can see the details here. And what it did with that first pin that I created was it pulled over the primary thumbnail image, and it also put a description in here of basically just the title. And it does bring over the link, which is really helpful. In fact, it brings over a trackable link for that share and save program, which is great. However, this isn't the best description, and it doesn't give you the ability to edit the caption or add hashtags when you share this way. However, if you do use that method for posting individual listings, you can still come over to Pinterest and open up the pin, and then click on the little three-dot menu here and select Edit Pin. So now you can actually edit the title of the pin, which I would recommend, and I would actually move the title from the listing up to the title here. And then I would change this description to something, about the particular design and, just say new design. Now you do want to use some hashtags on Pinterest because that will help people find some of your pins. And this is a key point about sort of what people use Pinterest for. I kind of mentioned at the beginning of the video that I see Pinterest as the place to share visuals. So share your new designs, collections of designs, things like that. I haven't really mentioned why, but the why for Pinterest is because what people do on Pinterest, for the most part, is look for ideas. Pinterest is not a platform for people to do a lot of communicating with each other. What people use Pinterest for is basically like creating a list of favorites of stuff that they're interested in. And it could be hobbies, but a lot of it has to do with products. And so the thing that people are coming to Pinterest to do is a perfect fit for what we are selling. When I create new designs, I go ahead and I just post those individual designs as pins to different boards that I have set up. And then I will do some individual boards that are themed for like Christmas designs, Thanksgiving designs, Valentine's Day designs. And sometimes they're individual listing pins just like this. And sometimes they are collections of images that I use Canva to create. But before I show you that, let me just show you how to find some hashtags. The way that I like to find hashtags for Pinterest is to just open a new Pinterest browser window in another tab, and then click on the search bar or click on the search button to get the search bar, and then start typing some things that are related to your post. And you can even use the tags, that you used on that post on Etsy. So I put in Peace Day shirt because that's what the product is that I'm creating the pin for. And what you'll see here are ideas for search phrases that Pinterest knows other people have searched for. So if you see Peace Day shirt ideas, that's a hashtag. All we have to do is remove the spaces in between the words, and that's a hashtag for this pin. So now I can come back and in my description, I can put hashtag Peace Day shirt ideas. So now if somebody searches for Peace Day shirt ideas on Pinterest, this pin will come up in the search results. Where it comes up is going to depend on how many people have saved it or shared it. And so there is a search ranking criteria or process on Pinterest just like everywhere else. But this is how I go about finding hashtags that will help my pins get found. So that's one way that I recommend sharing your designs to Pinterest, basically individual ones. And if you get in the habit of doing it when you create new designs, then, before long, you'll have a ton of pins created. The only catch is when you do it this way, you just need to edit that description and maybe add a couple hashtags after it gets pushed over to your Pinterest account. Now let's talk for a quick second about Canva templates for Pinterest and when you might use those instead of posting individual products to your Pinterest account. Now I just searched for Pinterest collage on Canva because that is one of the primary ways that I like to use Canva for Pinterest. So sometimes, as I mentioned, I will post pins to Pinterest that are a collection of design ideas. So I will just search for Pinterest collage or, Pinterest pin, and then I will just take a look at some of the templates until I find one that looks like what I'm looking for. So for example, here's one that's 50 wedding ideas. And so if we click on customize this template, maybe I just like the colors and the layout, and my images are square already, so they're a good fit, and there's 4 of them in here. So I could just get rid of this text and make it any text that I want. I can add my shop logo, the name of my shop, product images, and I can either download it from Canva or in the share button in the corner here, I can actually just click on Pinterest and have it go right to my Pinterest account. As long as you're logged into the Pinterest account you want to use, the first time all you have to do when you go to share is click on Pinterest. It'll give you a message here to connect a new account. That'll bring up a little prompt window and you'll say give access, and that will link your Canva account to your Pinterest account. And so now your boards will show up right here. So in this case, if you don't have a board for the thing you're already creating, you would want to create that ahead of time so that you can put it on the right board. So those are the 2 basic ways that I use Pinterest to promote my products: individual product pins and then collage pins that showcase multiple products that have kind of something in common, some type of a theme to them. Now, when it comes to the links with the collage pins, you can either just use your general, shareable shop link from the Share and Save program, or if there is a relevant shop section that fits with the collage, you can also use the Etsy seller mobile app to get a shareable link for one of your shop sections. So that's Pinterest. I personally think that Pinterest is a great fit for selling print on demand because people are looking for design ideas, product ideas. It's almost like shopping. Like, it's a very similar behavior to shopping as far as what people kind of use Pinterest for. Now, the thing Instagram has in common with Pinterest is it is mostly about visuals. People are looking for a visual story on Instagram, and that could be still images, or it could be the reels or the stories, which have a, like a motion, a video component to them. But there is a little bit more of the social interaction aspect on Instagram. It's not necessarily a place that I would be posting like polls or questions hoping to start a discussion, but you are going to get people commenting on your Instagram posts, and it's a place to really share a little bit more about your business, as well as share updates about your shop, including when you're running sales or promotions. You can offer coupon codes just to your Instagram followers, things like that, because people stay engaged more on a daily basis on Instagram, where they might only look at Pinterest like once a month. Very similar idea, though, when it comes to the types of things to post. You can certainly post individual listings, and I recommend that you do that. When you create new designs, I would recommend sharing them from your Etsy account. Now, remember what the social media page said, that if you want to share individual listings from your Etsy seller dashboard directly to Instagram, you need to do that from the mobile app, from the Etsy seller mobile app. But the great thing about Instagram is if you already have images, you can just upload an image, or you can do a gallery of multiple images or just one and create the posts from scratch. And it's really not all that labor intensive. So for example, if we were doing it on the desktop version, we would go to the create option in the left navigation, and we would select a file to upload. So let's say I just created this design for this garden flag for my shop. So I'm going to upload this, and it's going to ask me here if I want to crop it. So basically in the bottom left corner on desktop, it's actually a little bit more intuitive on the mobile app, but on desktop in the bottom left corner, you've got options here: 1:1 or square aspect ratio, sort of the classic aspect ratio on Instagram for still images. So I'm going to leave it as that. And now in the bottom right corner on desktop, you can also click to add additional images if you wanted this to be a gallery that they could swipe through and see more than one if you have multiple mockups. But for this product, I'm just going to do this one. So now I'm going to click next. You can add filters. I personally don't recommend doing that for our purposes. You really just are looking for an accurate representation of the product. So go ahead and click next through that. And then here we can put our caption. So again, you're going to start your caption with just a brief description of the product and the design. Now on Instagram, as I mentioned, they do a better job of helping you find relevant hashtags. So all you have to do is enter a hashtag hashtag and start typing something that you might think would be relevant. So I'm just going to put in garden flag here, and it's going to give me ideas, and it's going to tell you how many posts have been tagged with, these things. Now, there are a lot of different philosophies out there with this. Personally, for me, it's about balancing the relevance with at least decent volume, because when you see really low volume, it means probably not many people have followed that hashtag, but also you don't necessarily want to pick just all the ones that have like, 1 million or more posts, because those are super high volume and you probably will just get lost in those search results. Hashtag garden flag seems like a good one. There's 24,000 posts and it's very relevant to this product. So I'm going to go for that. And I'm going to also maybe go for something like hashtag patriotic. And here's an example of one that, yes, it fits, but it's got 2 million posts. So I'm probably not going to get found too easily with that hashtag, but I'm going to throw it in there just as an extra because it fits my product. Hashtag sunflower. You might think like, oh, that's super relevant. I've got sunflowers in the design. There are 10 million posts to hashtag sunflower, and chances are they're photos of the actual flower. So I don't think I'm going to use hashtag sunflower. You'll start to just learn what types of hashtags are good to use for your print-on-demand products and which ones maybe you would stay away from. But there's one thing missing from the post that you pretty much always want to say on Instagram, and that is the famous link in bio. So we're going to put that at the end of the end of our brief description there, because you cannot have a direct link to a product on Instagram unless you actually sell products through Instagram, or unless it is a paid ad. When you run a paid ad on Instagram, you can actually have a link to take people to your shop. But on a regular Instagram post, you cannot link directly to this product or to anything like you can on Pinterest or on Facebook or on Twitter. So that's why you always see the link in bio on Instagram, because you need people to go to your bio and click that shop link that's in your bio if they want to find this product. And so that would be a good reason to make sure that the keywords that are in the title of this product in your Etsy shop are in your description. Because if somebody goes to the link in bio and just goes to your, the homepage of your Etsy shop, if this product isn't right there on the homepage, they're going to have to search for it and try to find it. So when you're describing this product in the description, you want to use some of those words so that people can actually find it. And so that's really it. It seems like a slow process, but once you do this a few times, it is actually very quick. And it's honestly, it's a little faster doing it on a mobile phone, I think. The descriptions don't need to be long. You don't need a million hashtags, and you can crank out, a bunch of posts with your products this way. Now, as far as templates for Instagram, there's a couple of things to point out. There's also the video component, which we're not going to really get into in this video because this is already longer than I wanted it to be. But one of the things to look out for on Canva as far as Instagram, when you go to Instagram posts for templates, one of the things you can find a ton of are these like text-based posts. And what I would use these for on Instagram is sharing like when you're running a sale. You can even add the word sale to your search so you get ones that are more relevant here. Here's an example of one that if this sort of imagery was a good fit for your branding of your shop, we could use this one. We can replace the image in the middle with an image of one of our products. We can add the name of our shop somewhere in the text. You can add the percentage if there's a percentage. And then you can share this right to your Instagram account the same way that we did with Pinterest. If you're using Canva, we just click on Instagram, and then you can actually select to instantly post it or to schedule it, because Canva does allow you to schedule posts on Instagram. When it comes to Reels and Stories that have a video component, there are also some great templates out here on Canva that have some animation to them that you can use if you are running a sale, or if you just want to showcase, some new designs in a story format. One other thing I want to point out as a reminder, if you have a Placeit account, if you use Placeit for mockups already, don't forget that under the videos section, they have social media videos that you can actually use for Instagram stories. And so Placeit can be another good source for the video content for Instagram Reels or Stories. Now, the last thing I want to mention that's true of Instagram, Twitter, X, and Facebook, you want to break up your posts that are about sales and promotions with posts that are just showing a new design. And also potentially sort of behind the scenes posts are also popular. And don't try to sell them something with every post, because that's how you get unfollowed. So that'll do it for this video. Let me know in the comments if it was helpful, if you have any questions, and let me know if you think it would be helpful for me to make additional videos talking about sharing on social media and the other platforms. I'd be interested to know. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.